Enochville, North Carolina, September 12, 2005. Although only a half-hour north of the booming city of Charlotte, Enochville is more Mayberry than Metropolis.
It is very rural and very small. Everybody pretty much keeps to themselves.
So he figured it was hunters.
He thought maybe they were deer hunting.
However, they were still trespassing.
A lot of individuals would take their vehicles, four-wheelers and four-wheel drive vehicles, into this area.
And since they were on his land without permission, he decided to do something about it.
He went to go check out and see what they were doing.
He's always one to kind of keep a watch on things.
Soon after, what had they been doing out in the woods?
He realized that something wasn't right. Maybe he ought to go investigate.
Their trail was easy enough to follow.
There's a lot of brush, so when you walk through there, you pretty much make a pathway.
On September 12, 2005, in the typically quiet rural community of Enochville, North Carolina, Ryan Smith had just gotten home from work when his evening took a sudden, dramatic turn.
One of my neighbors started pounding on the door, ringing the doorbell.
And when Ryan answered the door, it didn't take long to realize why his neighbor had been pounding so frantically.
Somebody had been shot.
Minutes earlier, the neighbor had stumbled across a trio out of his woods.
He discovered an individual who was shot.
He had been left for dead,
covered with brush and tree limbs and things.
However, despite suffering 2 gunshot wounds,
as severely injured as he was still alive.
And since he didn't have his cell phone on him, the neighbor asked Smith to call 911.
The call was gunshots, possible man down.
Then, while Smith was on the phone with the dispatchers, his neighbor ran back to the injured young man's side to wait for the first responders.
He stayed in the woods with the victim, kept communicating with him.
But reaching the victim deep in the woods was no easy task for the emergency personnel.
Control units had trouble finding the victim.
Leading to the crime scene.
This was, for us, considered a high-profile case.
It almost turned into a circus-like atmosphere.
And the community of Enochville was in shock.
It's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened.
I have never had any reason to fear for my safety where I live. Yes, this was a wake-up call.
The news.